And how hard it would be to track down all the people who've been in and out of that house for the parties and the fun, and the tenants over the years, to make sure that they're eliminated from the samples that they may end up finding from the killer. Greg, let me get you in on this. Having worked on the Amanda Knox case, it's eerie. I know it's different, but again, it involved a stabbing. It was very mysterious. DNA played a huge role in it. There was a small town. The people there were very impatient to get results, and Amanda was wrongfully convicted. I'm wondering if you see any parallels or any concerns in the way this case is progressing.
Yeah, there's a lot of eerie parallels, as you said, and really we have another case in Idaho that I worked on, which is the Angie Dodge murder, and Christopher Tapp that was incarcerated 20 years wrongfully for that murder. We helped the police find the man who confessed and who matches the DNA. In both of those cases, young women killed in their bedrooms, deep gashes to the neck, and a rush to find evidence to arrest the suspect, and we had huge mistakes made. And in the Angie Dodge murder in Idaho Falls, they took DNA from over 100 people. They didn't take DNA from Mr. Drips, who lived across the street, who could see into Angie's window from his house, who had no alibi for the time he was missing. The police interviewed him. They didn't have DNA. He could have been compared originally to it. So if I had any advice to the very hard-working people there on the ground, anytime they interview somebody, take a swab. And that can just quickly eliminate them, even if they're not considered the prime suspect. The problem
so incredibly critical.
Yeah. Looking for a motive might be too early for all of us. The evidence, it's in 103 samples they took. Somebody's DNA is there. I'm going to guess that the perpetrator's DNA is there, and they'll be able to ID somebody.
It's hard to stab 4 people without getting some blood on your hand, and that becomes slippery, and it is easy to cut yourself, especially when some are fighting back, as we learned from the coroner. Listen, Larry, I've only got about 45 seconds left, but the cars that are parked out front, the kids' cars that are still left behind, I'm curious about the GPS information that might be contained in some of these newer vehicles. Wherever those kids drove to, whoever they visited prior to these killings, wouldn't you need to get those cars to a specialized garage so that you could actually take the GPS information from them to discover what the tracks were of the kids before they died?
I think that's absolutely correct. Again, we're talking digital evidence here, and along with the cars, there's the videotapes. They're looking for a video any place they can get it. Of course, it's not like New York City where you've got cameras on every building, so you can't escape being on video. But this in Moscow, they will try to get as much video as they can. They're going to go through the cell phones, their computers, their text messages, their
and they've already solicited all of the Ring doorbell cams. Thank you for watching.
Anyone would drink wine?
I'll have some wine.
I didn't even think of it, really, because, I'm not a big drinker, but maybe I should have something.
You're not a big drinker?
Hey there. Replacement? Okay, would you mind going and getting somebody who's placed? Oh, she is?
Yeah, she's at the front door.
You want to send her up back here? I apologize. We knocked at the front door, no one came.
I'll be right back.
Yep, thanks, ma'am. Yeah, I took one look at that speaker. I said,
You get a lot of guys trying to argue private property access.
The way I've always done it, and correct me if I'm wrong, was the way I did it there. Find one responsible, have everyone else hold them accountable. If I got to come back here, they're getting the ticket. Because then it's on them to nip everyone else in the bud, because they know.
They don't come out, we just contact landlords.
Yeah.
Or we come back the next day, or the next time you work.
Yeah.
No, a lot of cooperation does not go a long ways with us.
Yeah.
Downstairs to the back deck. Interesting.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Is this your place?
Yeah.
Perfect. You know why we're here?
And I assume noise.
Noise, yeah.
Yeah.
Big speaker right there.
Yeah,
Nothing against having a party. Once neighbors start calling in, then we have an issue.
fair.
You go to school?
Yeah,
Okay. What year?
senior.
Senior. Okay. So I'll tell you the same thing I told them. You probably know the drill, right?
Actually, no.
Oh, okay. So usually, at least for me, I'll give you a verbal warning.
Okay.
Once I have neighbors calling in, your music's too loud. You're disturbing the peace.
Yeah.
Nothing against having parties. Nothing against having people over who are overage to drink. But again, once we start disturbing the neighbors, then we've got an issue.
Yeah.
Noise ticket is up to 300.
Yeah, somewhere around 300.
Okay, it's a pretty expensive ticket. I don't want to give that to you. That being said, this is your place, so I'm going to hold you responsible. Because it is your place, you're also responsible for everybody here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to grab your info.
Yeah.
And if I do have to come back here, a $300-some ticket's coming your way.
Okay.
And it only gets more expensive from there. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
fair. Absolutely.
Actually, let's just do this. What's a good phone number for you?
And Ethan Chapin the night they were murdered, looking specifically at the hours between 9 p.m. and 1:45 a.m. when the couple was believed to be at Ethan's fraternity.
Why are you looking for more information specifically about where Xana and Ethan were in regards to his fraternity house?
That actually seems to be one of the larger areas that we don't have a lot of information in. And so being able to locate what they did that night, to maybe who they contacted, maybe any routes that they took home, that would be important for the investigation.
Xana and Ethan stabbed to death less than a block away at Xana's home, along with Kaylee Gonzalez and Madison Mogan, who were found on the top floor. 2 roommates survived, along with Kaylee's dog, seen in this TikTok video. Authorities now say the dog was found inside the home, but in a separate room from the victims.
How important is the behavior of the dog in your investigation?
We don't believe that there was any appearance of forced entry to the home. And as well, at this time, we have not determined if the dog was inside the residence during the murders or not. What we do know is that the dog was inside when officers arrived. The dog did not appear to have any evidence on it.
Police also addressing information about the victim's manner of death after Kaylee's father said he learned his daughter's wounds were much more severe than her friends, fearing Kaylee was the target.
Child, that's the target.
Police telling ABC News they have not provided the family with that information.
Specifically about where Xana and Ethan were in regards to his fraternity house.
That actually seems to be one of the larger areas that we don't have a lot of information in. And so being able to locate what they did that night, to maybe who they contacted, maybe any routes that they took home, that would be important for the investigation.
Xana and Ethan stabbed to death less than a block away at Xana's home, along with Kaylee Gonzalez and Madison Mogan, who were found on the top floor. 2 roommates survived, along with Kaylee's dog, seen in this TikTok video. Authorities now say the dog was found inside the home, but in a separate room from the victims.
How important is the behavior of the dog in your investigation?
We don't believe that there was any appearance of forced entry to the home. And as well, at this time, we have not determined if the dog was inside the residence during the murders or not. What we do know is that the dog was inside when officers arrived. The dog did not appear to have any evidence on it.
Police also addressing information about the victim's manner of death after Kaylee's father said he learned his daughter's wounds were much more severe than her friends,